Hi everyone, in this video we're going to look at how to create links and flow windows between our pages or slides in LYNX Whiteboard. So to do that I've got a document here that I've been working on, Famous Pirates of History. Now before I get started I actually want to prepare my pages because when I create links between pages sometimes I will want the information to be on display in a flow window and other times I want it to be hidden. So for example with this page here I might want to leave everything so that we can see it all. That's absolutely fine. Whereas on this page here I might want to hide everything, all of this text. So I'm just going to select it all, and from the floating toolbar I can go to the eye and select hide in preview. You'll see how that works in a moment. Now if I go to the next page, here I might want to keep the picture of Blackbeard himself, but I want to hide the text. So again I just go to the eye, and even though I've selected two items there, the title and the text, it only needs me to toggle that just the once for both of those items. But the picture of Blackbeard I have not put hide in preview. Let's do that again here. So we'll hide the text, but we'll leave the picture alone, and I'll make it a little bit larger. And the same with Captain Kidd here. We'll make that larger, but I will hide the text. Okay, so obviously I'm rushing a little bit for this video. Now let's go back here to my first page. So for hyperlinks there are two ways of doing it. The first way is to click on the pages view, which I can access just by clicking on the numbers there, or by clicking here and going to pages. And I want the content page down here to be linked to from the main page. So if I pick up this chain link, I can either drop this directly on the page and let go, or I can just drop it directly on the little thumbnail of the page there. And there we are. Notice how it's blank because I've hidden the text. Now on any flow window we get a special icon on the floating toolbar. Here it is. It's a little cog on the page, and that represents the reference options for that flow window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the background color, so there's just a border now, and I can position that. But even better is I could also hide the border too. So I've now got an absolutely invisible flow window. Dangerous. But if you position that flow window over some other object on the screen, you've basically turned that into a button to take us to that page. You'll see that in action soon. Now the next page that I've just flowed into my contents page, I also want to create the flow windows for these other characters here. So for Blackbeard I'm going to drag this out directly onto the page. You'll notice no text. I can shrink that down and pop it there, and I'll leave the background color and the border this time to make it a clear button. Now there is another way of doing it as well, and that's if I go to the additional content area and there's a page link option here. This time what happens is it shows us the page we're on shaded out, and I can pick the next page that I want the link to. So this is the page on Anne Bonny. Now you'll notice that I've got a lot of black there as well that I might not want, so I can reduce that down. There we go. And then I can pop that wherever I need it to go. And it doesn't matter how big or small it is. It looks quite nice if they're all the same size, so a bit of adjusting there. I can make sure they're all the same size. Then we can do exactly the same again. So you can decide which way do you think is quicker. So if we go to the Captain Kidd page there, the treasure hunter again, I can reduce that down there and shrink that down so it's roughly the same size as the others. So you can decide, is it quicker to do it this way? So I've got one more page that I want to link there. The difficulty comes if the page is further away because you have to pick them up and drag them all the way to where you want them to be. So my preference is to do it with the additional page link tool that exists right there. So now I've got a variety of hyperlinks on there, but I might want some other features as well. So on the page here for Captain Blackbird, I might want that image to be a link to something. So it could be, if I go to the 3 dots menu here, I could get it to link either to a website or to a file. Now that file could be something like a sound file. So if I go to my sound recordings, I've got a pirate one right there, and I can select that and say OK. And I know when I've added a link to something because that item gets a little chain link symbol there. Let's go to the next page. So on this page here, I've got Anne Bonny, the picture there, and what we can do with her is we can link her to a website. But which website? So I've got a website here. It's a list of pirates. So all I've got to do is copy that list. We can go back here. We can paste that in there and say OK, and there's our chain link to that website. We'll see that in action in a moment. Now we also have the ability with our links to select a page that we go to, or even an action. So one of the useful actions could be back. So it'll go back to whichever page got me to this page. I'll go back to it when I click on the picture. And I can say OK. So there's a variety of ways that we can do that. If I'd picked select page, again, I'd just pick the page that we go back to. So we've got back as my option there. Now I can add things in as well. So for example, on my page here, if I add a shape, I've got a little arrow that I can use. And if I want that to go back to the previous page, normally I think we'd be more used to seeing it flip that way, a bit like going through the pages of a book. And again, we can go to link and we can select the page that we're going to return to, which is my first page there. OK, OK. So a variety of links there. Let's see all these in action now. Notice how there's a little blue arrow on my pirate ship, and that's because what didn't I do? I didn't hide that arrow. So when we go back now, no arrow. Let's go into presentation mode. So start presenting. So here we are with my presentation of famous pirates of history. Click on the pirate ship, we flow into our main page. Yes, I can go back as well. That link uses a nice flow. Let's go to look at the Blackbeard page, and this, when I click on it, will reveal my sound button. Arr, me hearty. Arr, me hearty. And then this page will take us to the Anne Bonny page, and if I click on her image, it takes us straight away to that website. It could also open up a file, of course, if we've got a file stored on our device that we'd like to open too. That's another option. This page here, we've got Captain Kidd, and when I click back, it takes us back to the Anne Bonny page, because that's how we got there in the first place. So, flow windows and links used within our links presentations. Happy creating!